Hello, it's Mr. Cherrick. This is your first project in the unit I just call surface. The surface you paint on is extremely important when it comes to a painting, and up until now you've probably been using paper, maybe mat board, and then a canvas board. So those kind of limit your options to the range and variety with which paintings are created on today. And this vinyl record painting is kind of a chance to break free of that. The other cool thing about a vinyl, obviously, is that it's a circle, so that's kind of an unusual format to work on. And you also have other concerns. You can paint straight onto the vinyl if you want, but you can also gesso the vinyl first. And gesso is just it's a kind of seals the surface, and then it provides a nice white ground to work on. You need to gesso canvas, raw canvas or raw linen. Well, linen you need to size it and then gesso it, but you need to use that to kind of protect the surface that it's on and make sure that it's archival, depending on the surface you're painting on. And it doesn't really matter whether you paint straight on the vinyl or gesso it first. It's just sort of your preference, and then it's a creative decision too. If you've never painted straight onto something black, the color is that you layer on there can be kind of changed as you layer them over black. It's a lot different than working on a white surface. For this project, you have a lot of freedom. You can make your subject music related. I highly recommend that you make it music related, but again, that's very open to interpretation. I want you to paint like 3/4 at least of the vinyl, and then make sure that you change your colors or do something engaging for most of the composition. Don't just keep it a flat color and a very simple geometric design. Try to mix it up a little bit. Let's take a look at some examples. Here's some pretty loose examples, and I found these online. It doesn't really matter what you think of, kind of like, well, these aren't music related. I mean, music is an extremely broad category, so I'm pretty sure somehow you could construe some of these to be music related, and that kind of gives you an awful lot of freedom. Like, I have no idea what music you listen to. I don't know what it looks like in your head, so you got a lot of freedom here to kind of do this however you want. Some more examples. This is what I did when I did this project in high school. I painted, I think it was Bob Marley, and I just did his face white in with the black surrounding it, kind of like the Jimi Hendrix examples down here. And it's kind of a simple, easy way to do it. This one in the far right, though, and I do mention this in the criteria, this one in the far right's been cut. You can cut into your vinyl, you can scratch it, you can melt it if you want. We can try all those things. It's plastic, so it can kind of do some pretty cool stuff. These are just kind of examples of like realism and approaches to that. Here are some successful student examples. All these are really fun and cool. I really liked how these turned out. This was a fun project. Everybody had a lot of fun just sort of making some cool stuff out of it. It got a lot of different results, and I was kind of happy with the difference in all the results. Even though there are kind of some similarities, it's still interesting to see. This last example here is really cool, only because it's really well done, and she did both sides, and that's completely optional. You only have to paint one side, but her approach to either side is kind of similar. She just sort of did the band name, but still the results are kind of cool. And she used metallic paint. Bought herself some gold and silver metallic paint. I don't think we're probably going to purchase any metallic paint anytime soon, but she got a little bottle from a hobby store for like $2-3 and did that. So that's something you could try. Again, have fun with this project. It's meant to be kind of fun and fluffy, and just sort of think about how you're going to start your surface off and what you're going to do with that circle template. Just a quick note, gesso is in cabinet 26, I believe, underneath the sinks. If it's not, just ask for it. I can give you also a vinyl record. Those will be in the closet. You won't have access to those. They're kind of where I keep the canvas boards. And then there is no demonstration for this project since it is so straightforward. If you've never used the big brushes to gesso something or prep something, the big brushes I believe are in number 6. And just make sure you clean out your brushes and put the lid back on the gesso as soon as you're done gessoing. Even if you think somebody else is going to use it, chances are they're probably not going to use it for a couple minutes. And if you leave the lid off, it'll kind of dry out, and I really hate that. So please put the lid on it and clean out your brush and put everything away when you're done. Another handy tip for gessoing: if you are going to gesso your vinyl, please do it on newsprint or one of the drawing boards on the opposite side of the sinks. That just sort of saves you a lot of cleanup time, and it doesn't damage the tables. Gesso really doesn't come out all that easily. It kind of does, but it takes a lot of elbow grease, and I really hate making the janitors clean it out of our countertops and tables.